Greetings, everyone. This is Supreme Understanding. I'm back. It's been a minute, but I am back with my next topic, and it's been on my mind for a long time now, but I kind of forgot about it, and then it kind of resurfaced earlier this morning. So I was like, let me do a video about that today. So I'm in the car because my house is noisy because of my children, but I'm back. So I just wanted to talk about the topic of education. And I know education is important to a lot of people. And but for me and my family, I can honestly tell you that the current education system that we have right now is not important to us. And I will tell you why, because a lot of people are going to be thrown off by that, but I'll tell you why. So what made me think about this morning was I was cleaning up around the house and I had YouTube on for my youngest children, and they were about to watch a cartoon, but before you know, it has that little ad, and it was some ad about some kind of private school or some online school. There was this lady being interviewed going on and on about how her son is doing so much better in school because he had this program that was educating him better, and his grades are going up, and he was going to achieve, and he's now able to go to third grade. And it was this big whoop-de-doo. And I said, I need to do a video on education because this is people are taking it way too serious for what it is, for what they're giving you. It's the amount of seriousness. It's over the top because they're not giving you or your child anything. And I'll explain why. So my children are 13, 6, and 3. And my oldest daughter, she went to public school until she was in 5th grade. And then when it was time for her to go to middle school, I know different states are different stuff, but in Georgia, middle school is 6th through 8th. So when it was time for her to go to middle school, I finally was able to pull her out of school. And you guys, that was something I had been wanting to do since she first stepped into pre-K. But at that time, I didn't have the means. I didn't have the money. I didn't have a way of working out to be able to pull her out of school. So she has been out of school since she was about 10 or 11, I think. She's 13 now. And she's doing good. She's doing good. She and her sister, who's 6, are they're unschooled. They're agile learners. Unschooling is a type of homeschooling. But with unschooling, there is no set curriculum or no set schedule. There are no set grades or benchmarks to follow up the ladder to success. A child chooses their own path to success, however they choose it. They learn things when they want to versus teachers or school systems telling them when to learn something. For instance, they may or may not want to learn how to read when they're age 6 years old, in the school system. They learn when they want. So they are unschooled. They attend an agile learning center that follows that protocol, that follows that technique, and allowing children to naturally teach themselves through their own level of curiosity and level of inquisitiveness, and that's how they learn. But the reason I wanted to pull my child to school, I never wanted my child to go to school. To me, the education system is glorified babysitting. It is glorified babysitting. The public school is a free place for you to send your child. They keep your child there while you're at work. They feed them, and then you go pick them up. It's just free childcare. They are not offering anything. And what I mean by that is that the education system is just indoctrination. It's not made up to teach your children anything. It's not made up to teach your children anything of any value. For example, if you look up the American education system and find out where its roots are, it started originally being based off of Germany's education system, which was a whole system dedicated to teaching children all the way up through adulthood how to be minions, how to just be these robotic, government supporting people who never questioned authority, who never thought outside the box, who never came outside of those lines, who followed this one plan through their whole life, all the way up through adulthood. Germany created their education system for public control. And the American school system is modeled after that completely. They're under the guise that they're teaching your child to better their future, but the entire public school system is made up to indoctrinate your child. It's just not fair, because we have children, they're born into the world, and by the time they're 4 and 5 years old, they're thrown into a school system. And, whether it's public or private, they're thrown into a school system. You're not given a chance to be a child. They're not given a chance to be one. By the time they stop being babies and get into childhood, the NCS bit, the school system is ready to indoctrinate them. And so, you have to put your child in school. So you put your child in pre-K, kindergarten, whatever it may be, wherever you are, 4 and 5 years old. And they stay in that school system from 5 to 18. Every year, 10 months out the year, they're in school. They give them a 2-month break. If you get that, it depends on where the school is year round or wherever you live. And then they're right back in school again. And by the time they're 18, they're so brainwashed, they're so conditioned, they're so indoctrinated that they don't know left from right. They don't actually know anything. They just memorized all of the rules and indoctrinations that you gave them. They're like robots. And then after they've wasted their whole childhood in that school system that took that childhood away from them, that took all that time away from them, after they have wasted 13 years of their life, they give them a diploma. And then they tell them, oh, this diploma doesn't mean anything. You can't even get a job at McDonald's with a diploma. You have to go to college now. And you're like, hold up. And I'm thinking, like, this doesn't make any sense. This child just wasted their whole childhood in your school system that they did not choose to be in. Their parents put them in it. And they're from 5 to 13, and they wasted their whole childhood in the school system just to get to 12th grade, just to get to the end, just to graduate, to get this piece of paper, and it means nothing. So it's like the whole system means nothing. That means grades K through 12 meant absolutely nothing, because the end game of all of that is this little diploma thing. That means nothing. So that means all of that was a bunch of fluff. And it is. It's just ways to indoctrinate people. It's just ways that they have to start early, and they use the school system to do that. It was never intended to teach anyone anything of any value. That's why you don't remember anything you learned in school like that. You don't. You don't. You don't remember the 3rd grade math. You don't remember what you did in 12th grade. You don't remember because it's a bunch of fluff. And it's like, well, you may need it later on, but you may, if you go take a career path where you need it. If you don't need it. You don't remember it. And it's just sad how they do these children. And I didn't want my children to be in that system. I didn't want them to be indoctrinated. I remember reading that even the way the classrooms are set up, most classrooms in schools are set up like a square, most. And the square is the most confining shape that there is. It warps the brain into thinking that you're encaged. It's like a subconscious message. They put the teacher in the front of the classroom, and they have all these square desks for all the children. And there's a teacher there, and they're taught to respect that teacher and not question that teacher. And you're thinking, okay, well, there's a teacher. She has her own classroom. But no, it's subconsciously teaching them to not question authority. So when they get to be adults, they don't question the government. When they get to be adults, they don't question the police. When they get to be adults, they don't question the rules of society. They don't make any sense, because it's already been ingrained in them not to question authority from the time they were small children in school. And so it's like it slowly warps their brain into being robots. And then on top of that, the stuff they teach, the quality of the things that they are teaching is not even true. Like, it's like a lot of the things they teach are lies. Like, one of the major things that they teach in school right now is that we, the quote unquote black people that live in America, are from Africa. That is a boldface. That is a lie. That is BS. We are Indians, literal Indians. We've always been here, but let school tell you that we came on slave ships. Let school tell you that NASA went to the moon. Let school tell you that the world is a globe, which it is not. I'll do a video about flat earth later. But it's like a lot of lies are being taught in the school system. The way that history is taught, it's like 99% lies. It's the way that science is taught is 99% lies too. They only want you to know like 1% of information, and they fluff the rest up, and you go your whole life believing it, and you're conditioned, like you have this schooled mindset for the rest of your life, and you don't even realize that you've been lied to. And it's not fair to children to have to waste a child, because children are born into the world to learn and explore on their own and to figure things out and to be kids and to play and run and jump and skip and hop and do all the things that they're supposed to do. But what do we do in our society? What do? We take them, and as soon as they're old enough, 5 years old, get enough coordination and gumption and really start asking questions about the world. As soon as they get to that age, what do? We throw them in school, and it's designed that way because they have to start indoctrinating them as soon as they get out of that baby toddler stage, because that's the age where they have to just start cutting them down with a knife. So you put them in school, and they stay there for 13 years, wasting their childhood. And it's not fair. These children sit in school for 6 to 7 hours a day doing work. And then these teachers have the audacity to send home homework to children. Homework. I know adults who work every day, and they'd just be damned if their supervisor gave them something to do after work when they get home. They will look at that supervisor just like, are you crazy? I'm not doing this. When I get home, it's my downtime to relax and eat and be at my children and smoke and drink whatever I want to do. I'm off the clock. That's how adults are. If somebody try to give us take home work, that's unacceptable. When people who work in careers, when they have to take work home, they don't like taking work home. They don't. That's the least part of their job they like. But we do it to kids though. People whose attention span is a fraction of ours. People who have been blocked in a box all day, unable to play and do what they're naturally supposed to do. We take that free time away from them. These teachers have the audacity to send these children home with homework assignments. Then they spend 30, 40 minutes doing homework, maybe an hour, depends on how much homework they sent home. So when do they get to play and be kids? Oh, on the weekends, 2 days. But the whole week, they've been going through that. Then over the summer, some of these teachers and people give that enrichment work. What are you getting that enrichment work for? These are children. Leave them alone and let them go play. They're going to sit in front of your face all day. They have sat in front of your face all school year. Leave them alone. They don't need enrichment. They've been sitting in front of you for 10 months. Let them have their 2 months off so they can be children and play. But people don't think that way with children. When my child was in elementary school, when she went to school, and they had the gall to send, it'd be like winter break. They sent home winter break work. We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't even do homework at my house because that was my daughter's downtime, and you're not going to take that away from her. I already didn't want to send her to school in the first place. The only reason I was sending her was for babysitting. And I would tell her, I would say, okay, you're only going to school because you need a babysitter so I can go to work. But as soon as I get in a position to take you out of this BS, I will. And I did. And I'm very proud of myself for doing that. But when she would come home with homework, we would not do it. We wouldn't. It would sit right there in the little folder, the little raggedy folder, the teachers at home, and we would not do it. And I would tell her, I said, education is not important. It's not. It's not important. It's the worst thing for your child right now because it's based on lies and it's indoctrination. It's not going to get you anywhere but a 9 to 5, just like everybody else. It's not intended to get you anywhere. The schooling that will get you partially somewhere is probably college, because that's when you start working on your career. And guess what? A lot of people don't realize you don't have to do K through 12 to go to college. You don't. You can skip K through 12. And when you turn 16, get you a GED. How you pass the GED? How do you pass the GED test? You read the GED book and memorize it. That's it. Read the book, memorize the book, take the GED test, and you can go to college just like anybody else who wasted their whole childhood at K through 12. And a lot of people don't know that, and they don't want you to know that because they want you to put your child into the school system to brainwash your child. They don't want you to know that there is a loophole around all of that BS. They want you to think education is important, and it's not. Education is the worst thing in the world. It is. It's the worst thing in the world because it's snatching the childhood from these children. It's snatching away their creativity. It's the moment they develop their gumption for life at 5, they snatch it away. It's awful. It is just an awful system to put your child in. So if you can, just take your child out of school. Take them out. Homeschool them. Unschool them. They don't have to have an education. It's not important. And I tell my daughters that all the time. It's not. They're going to make you think it's important. They're going to make you think educating and voting and vaccines and all that mess is important. And it's not. It is not. You should never want your child to be educated. You want them to have a knowledge, because being educated just means you've been indoctrinated. I don't want my children to be educated ever. That's the worst thing. I want them to have knowledge. I want them to look up things for themselves and learn the truth about things. You know, and I want the education system leave these children alone. Leave them alone. Let them be children. But I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon, because they're not done indoctrinating. They come up with something new every day.